Welcome back, guys. This is part 4 of my Parks on the Air series. Hopefully it's the last video. We'll kind of see. I might have some more stuff I want to talk about later on. But right now, today, we're going to talk about logging your contacts after you've activated a park and how to get those sent off to Parks on the Air. That's right here, right now on Ham Radio for Non-Techies. Okay, guys, welcome back. This is Ham Radio for Non-Techies, where we try to simplify the hobby of ham radio, get you to study for, pass your tests, and get you on the air as quickly as possible without developing any really bad habits. So today, like I said, we're going to do part 4. We did part 1 where I introduced you to POTA. We talked a little bit about, activating. The second one was on hunting for POTA, if you want to be a POTA hunter. And then the most recent video was my experience when I activated my first park. Yay. And a couple little things about etiquette and things like that. And, just like some general tips and tricks on gear you might want to have with you. So today I want to really focus on the logging aspect, because going in there and doing the POTA stuff, obviously you're going to have your logs in there. You're going to be logging your contacts. So what do you use? And I touched on the HAMRS app a little bit. We're going to go a little more in depth now that I've got it actually set up in my computer here. So we'll do a full screen intro here to this thing. And I want to discuss the HAMRS app. I want to discuss basically like the setup. And we're going to go over logging features, how to export your files, and how to send your log files to the Parks on the Air organization so you can get credit for your activations. So let's start off with, go to my desktop. Now here we are at the HAMRS.app website. I'll have the links down below as always. And I think we talked about this before. If you get it for your, if you get it as an app for your phone or something like that, or a tablet, it's about $4.99. One-time fee, and you get all the updates from here on out, and that's so you can have it portable. If you're on an actual laptop with Mac or Windows or Ubuntu or Raspberry Pi, it's actually free. So once you get this download, you install it. When you first run the software, it's going to have you do a quick setup to get to know, get your profile set up. So it's going to ask for your call sign, your name, and a couple of little things. Very self-explanatory. But once you get that set up, let's see, let's find the HAMRS app here. It is going to bring up your, let's just start over here. I'm just going to bring that up. So you're going to get a screen like this. And on this screen, you can set up a new logbook, or you can go back and look at some of your older logbooks. To set up a new logbook, you'll simply just go over here and type in new, or click on new logbook, give it a title, and they give you some options of what you can title. You can title it whatever you want. And then we're gonna talk about the changing the file size, the file name later. Down here you have templates. You're just doing a generic, you just want it to be a logbook for generic QSOs. You can set it as generic. You can do Parks on the Air, has a special template for that. It has one for Summits on the Air, one for Field Day, and then one for Winter Field Day. So, if we're gonna do Parks on the Air, which is what we've been talking about here, we'd set up maybe, say, call it POTA. And maybe give it a name, what park you're at, K3019, blah, blah, blah. Don't forget to put your little dash in between the K and the number. There we go. And we'll use the Parks on the Air template. We'll hit save. So that now opens up this. Now, you might not see the screen exactly like this when you get it open, and that's because on mine, I've got the settings set up, and I've got it for the expanded view. You take the expanded view off, and you lose a little extra stuff on here. So I like having the expanded view on. That's personal preference. It's also, when you're doing the setup for your initial profile, it's going to ask you for your QRZ account information, like your username and password, or you can look up. They have another option here for HamQTH, HamQTH, and I don't have mine set up at the moment, but you can go up and go to HamQTH, I guess, hamqth.com, and sign up for a free account and use that. The QRZ one works fine for me. I don't need to have a whole bunch of these things on there, so I'll stick with the QRZ one. But you can drop down and look and see what your lookup provider default's going to be. So I got mine set for QRZ. We'll get out of that. So in here, you would set up, whatever frequency you're on. Say you're on 14.311, and you picks out your band. You're on single sideband. You can put your power in here if you want. So say 100 watts. If you had a park, K-3019. Oops, I just messed that all up. K-3019. And I still messed it up. There we go. It'll automatically pick out the grid based on the data it receives, whatever park you put in there. Put in your call sign. If you're using a club call sign, you put that in there. And once you set this, it's kind of a set it and forget it kind of thing. So you can set that, be done with it, unless you change frequencies. If you change frequencies, you have to go back in and change out just the section up here for frequency. But other than that, you'll be playing in this little section here where you put in their call sign. You get your RST, what you sent, what you received. You can put that in there. I don't generally bother with that. I just keep it as is. It doesn't really matter. If they're in a park, you want to put their park in here. Remember, put in the K dash and then the number of the park. So if you're doing like a park-to-park activation and they're like from, they're from K-0001, you put in K-0001. Any comments you want to put in there, and you're not really going to have much time to write a whole lot of info here. But if you want to put in there like somebody you know or a little note to yourself, you can pop that in the comments. I believe it automatically logs the time now. I'm not really sure. This is showing UTC time. The date will update, of course. And down here, once you put somebody's information here, I think it populates down here with the majority of their information. But what I wanted to show you, and I couldn't show you this last time because I didn't have it set up on here. Down the bottom here, when you run calls and you get your QSOs in here, you're gonna have an option once you input somebody's info here, it's gonna show up down here. And to show you that a little bit better, I want to go back out to my logbooks, and I'm gonna pull up. I believe it was this one down here. So we're gonna pull up this logbook here. Okay, so I just did a mock logbook. This is not a real logbook here. It's just a mock one. But to kind of show you what happens here. So when you log somebody in, it'll look them up, and they'll pop up on the top right-hand side up here with their information as who you just contact, which is kind of cool. And that goes from if you're connected to QRZ or to the HAMQTH app. Anywho, so your entries all show up down here on the bottom. You have also a QSO map tab. So if you click on that, it'll actually show you where you made QSOs from. So it'll show from where you are, you're in the green, and all little contacts you made are all the people out from wherever you contacted. So that's really cool. The other thing I found out, and I just found this out yesterday or on Saturday, was you have a POTA spots. I don't know where he gets his data. I don't know where he's pulling the data in from. It might be from QRZ or actually, no, it might be from Parks on the Air. So you might be getting an API in from Parks on the Air. But what this is a way to see who's on the air right from the app without going to any external, without having to go to the Parks on the Air website. You can go in here and you can see who's on the air if you want to do some hunting or if you want to see if you got spotted. Now, to spot yourself, you still have to go to Parks on the Air. I haven't found anything in here yet that allows me to spot myself from the app here. But I think if you spot yourself on parksontheair.com, you'll show up and it'll populate inside of the HAMRS app, which is kind of cool and convenient. So keep that in the back of your mind there. If you want to do some hunting, you want to see what's going on or see who else is on the air around, you can do that right in the app by clicking on the POTA spots tab over here. Okay, so we've covered briefly the HAMRS app, the setup, and some of the logging features. What I want to cover next is how to export your log files. So to do that, we go back out to our logbooks, and you find the log that you want to do. So in this case, I want to export this POTA K-319 that has the 4 contacts in it. So we go over here to Settings, and we hit Export. Once you export that, you can export it to your site there and hit Save. You're done. You've now exported that file. Now we have to go through the steps in order to set the file up correctly and then mail it or email it off to Parks on the Air so you and the other people can get credit for those QSOs. So how do we do that? Well, I want to get out of this real quick, and we will go over here to Parks on the Air website, and we'll go to the, I'm in the wrong place, FAQ. Okay, so on the FAQ page here, and I want to kind of get this for you ahead of time instead of having you go hunt around for it. How do I send my logs in? You go to the home page. It's based on your call sign number, not location. So if your call sign has a 0 in it, so I'm KI5NPL, I would send my thing to K5@parksontheair.com. It only goes by the number. It doesn't matter what the prefix letter is. So if you're W5 or A5, whatever, just send it to K5@parksontheair.com. So like it says here, if it has a 1 in it, send to K1. And for now, the country of origin does not matter. If you're in a park that is in multiple states, you must let the region coordinator know which state you are in for the log to be processed. So if you're in a multi-state park that's on the cusp of 2 or 3 states or something like that, make sure you let them know ahead of time which state you're in when you activated the park. And logs must be split by park, but a single log can contain multiple days. So that's kind of cool. The big thing you want to remember here, and this is the one that's in orange, it is mandatory for your ADI file to name to include the call sign, park number, and activation date. And they give an example of how that looks there. And I'm going to show you a little thing here in a sec. So with that, I want to bring over, I kind of copied that same information here. So for me, I'd have to rename that file I just downloaded, and I'd rename it KI5NPL at K-301-2021-1016. That's the date there, 2021, October 16th. That's the one from the activation I did the other day. So I'm just going to highlight that, and I'm going to grab it. We'll hit copy. So I've got that set up. So now I've got to go find that file, which I have right here. I made a little folder on my computer called POTA logs, where I'll store all of my logs. So for this file to be correctly in the correct format, even though I named it POTA-K-3019, I can now go back and rename this file by clicking on it once, clicking on it twice, and I can just hit Control-V, and that's now the correct way for it to be. Now, when you're setting up, like when you're setting up a logbook in HAMRS, it might be better to save yourself the time to go ahead and name that logbook like this already. So when you export it, it's already correctly named. So you have to go back and edit that. That's just my 2 cents. So with that now, I'd go into my email. I'd set up a new email or send up a new message, and I'd set it to k5@parksontheair.com. Throw this in there, write a little note, thanks for all you do, blah, 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 and have your, your signature at the bottom, and mail it off or send it off. What they'll do is they'll get to it here. They'll jump in. They'll load your data, and you'll get credit for that activation. That is pretty much it for that. So let's see. Sending logs. We covered how to, exporting. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Now there is other logging software out there. Go back to my main cam. There is other software out there. You can use whatever you want, but the HAMRS app is pretty well. It works pretty well, and he's constantly, the guys that created it are constantly adding new updates and new things. When they find bugs or people report bugs, they always put up a new update for it and fix those issues as they're made aware of them. So, you can use whatever logging software you want. I like the HAMRS app. A lot of the other guys I know that are doing POTA stuff are really enjoying it, and it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, but it's got a lot of cool features in it, and I'm sure down the road, as they develop it more, they're going to find more features to add into it, make it just really, really cool. But, for what it is right now, I've got it on my tablet, I've got it on my laptop, I've got it on my phone. So no matter where I am or what I'm doing, I'm able to, pull up that app, create a log, and get all those contacts in there. Let me see. I don't think there's anything else I really wanted to discuss on this. I think, let's see, every day is field day. Yeah. Again, let's go back over to the desktop here. I showed you guys before, if you go into the Parks on the Air website and you click on POTA spots, it's going to have you log in. And once you log in, you'll be able to have access to this page and actually interact with it as far as like adding in your spot. If you want to spot yourself, or if somebody else wants to spot you, they can just spot you on here. But you can see this, updates every minute, and you can go on here and look for people that are on the air now and see if you can contact them. And if you get spotted or you spot yourself on here, then people can find you. And it kind of makes it just a little bit simpler to get through the activation and have a lot more fun with it. And then if you change frequencies again, as you would change the frequency on the HAMRS app, you do the same here. Just respot yourself under a different frequency and just go have fun. Anyway, guys, I hope that is informative. I hope I covered all the topics we needed to cover for this. I believe I did. Just go out there and have fun with this. Use whatever app you want, but I think the HAMRS app is the way to go. And, for $5, you got nothing to lose. I mean, it's a really cool little app, and it helps you out. It has everything ready to go. The only work you got to do is export, rename it if you didn't name it the first time, throw it in an email as an attachment and send it off, and you get your QSO credits. So with that, guys, I hope you have a great day. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Also, remember to subscribe and click on the little bell and be notified when I do new videos. Until then, this is Ham Radio for Non-Techies, and we are clear.